There's something waiting for us in this base. I can feel it. Something in the scent of the air, and a special kind of silence.
Apart from being a PlayStation aficionado, I also loved to PC game. But back at the turn of the millennium, the PC we had at home didn't have a great deal of gaming grunt, so some compromises had to be made. And by that I mean getting the PS1 version if that was an option. I remember when I first got the original X-Files FMV game for PC. The small hard drive capacity meant there was no way to fully install 7 discs worth of data, and since it wasn't exactly a powerhouse to begin with, it was a slow, sluggish disc swappy experience. So I reluctantly part-exchanged it for the PS1 version. The video quality may have been lower and there was no mouse compatibility, but it worked. This problem occurred once again with the 2000 release of Martian Gothic Unification. I was immediately intrigued by this game and learned of a PS1 version coming. Over a year later, it turned out. Due to such a delay, when finally released towards the end of the PS1's life in late 2001, it was given the budget price of only £10, which certainly pleased young me. Developed by Creative Reality and published by Take-Two Interactive, Martian Gothic entered the familiar pre-rendered background with 3D character survival horror arena with a great concept for the genre. The plot stems from the 1996 true-life news story about the discovery of the Martian meteorite ALH 84001, which would initially appear to contain fossilized microbacteria. This was of course later refuted, but this didn't stop Creative Reality from taking advantage of something topical. The year is the distant future of 2019. The Mars base Vita-1 has been radio silent for the last 10 months. A group of scientists have been sent to investigate. Enter our 3 protagonists, Matlock,
Diane Matlock, Earth Control Bacteriological Division.
Kenzo,
This is Kenzo Uji, Enigma Mission Log 9:12 AM.
and Khan.
Martin Khan, Earth Control Security Division.
After an emergency landing during a dust storm, they are separated and enter the base via 3 different airlocks under the second directive, Stay Alone, Stay Alive. This sets up the main mechanic of the game of having to keep the 3 characters apart, the reason which becomes clearer as the story progresses. Apart from the tried and tested late 90s survival horror format, Martian Gothic also leans towards the classic adventure game style, for being very explorative and heavily relying on inventory puzzles. And I mean really. Each character can hold up to 18 items at once and you can have all 3 inventories full at one time. But how does one character receive an item that another is carrying when they can't approach each other? Well, in keeping with the character separation, items are exchanged with the most futuristic of technologies, vacuum tubes. These tubes are dotted all over the base and are connected to each other in a non-linear way. Not sure how that works, but hey, this is future Victorian technology. Back to the survival horror angle, the desolate atmosphere and the small details of debris strewn everywhere does a good job of subtly showing there was a mass panic before the base fell silent. Discovering what happened is revealed slowly throughout and is rather well paced. This game does not hold your hand. Any clues to the incident, the crew and other information to aid progression has to be found through exploration. This includes whatever the crew may be carrying. This brings us to the bane of my experience with Martian Gothic, the enemies. Because of the aforementioned link to the ALH 84001 bacteria, Matlock being of the bacteriological division and it being a survival horror, it comes to no surprise that an outbreak of extraterrestrial origin has infected the crew and turned them into non-dead. Not zombies, no, non-dead. Gotta be unique here. What I found most irksome about the non-dead is how they detect and attack a character. These bastards are magnetic. No matter what direction you're facing, or even if you're a couple of feet away when passing, they pounce on you regardless. Sometimes making you face the opposite direction you were going. So after rapidly tapping circle and X to shake them off and reorientating yourself, they jump on you again. Fuck off! Finding your way around at first is not the easiest of tasks. The map provided is reminiscent of an underground train system. A twisty corridor is represented by a straight line and there are no blips showing character location. The unmarked coloured circles represent rooms which can be only unlocked with its corresponding coloured tag.
Yellow tag required.
Which is fine, but comes across as quite an inefficient way of maintaining security. If you're one of the higher ups and have access to the whole base, whenever you approach a door you have to rummage through your wallet and full of tags to find the right one. And speaking of rummaging through your items, occasionally the inventory puzzles can suffer from what I call Discworld syndrome. If you've ever played the original Discworld game, you'll know that its difficulty doesn't derive from having challenging puzzles. Because of the wacky nature of the setting, the puzzles make no goddamn sense. I mean, put custard and an octopus in a toilet so when you feed the fishmonger prunes he'll get molested by said octopus so you can take his golden belt. How the fuck are you supposed to figure that out? Okay, Martian Gothic doesn't go to that extreme, but you do come across some items whose purpose is not immediately apparent. What do I do with a silver bell with no clapper? A deflated space hopper? Or a tuning fork?
This resonator's giving me good vibrations.
Oh my.
Anyway, how about something positive? Giving each character different skills and knowledge to tackle situations gives problem solving a more satisfying feel. They each have different attitudes towards the dilemma they're facing, which adds to the unfolding story. Which brings us to the most positive aspect of Martian Gothic, the plot. And contrary, the most frustrating thing about writing this review, not wanting to spoil it. Finding out what caused the incident and unravelling the mystery is what will keep you playing. I'll keep it vague. After the discovery of ALH 84001, a research base was established on Mars in order to search for further evidence of life. But they found more than they bargained for. Something ancient. Something that was best left buried. Memories of the past. As frustrating as it gets at times, I have a soft spot for Martian Gothic. It certainly isn't terrible, but would I call it good? No. But I do appreciate it for what it's trying to do. As I said, the concept, setting and story are great. It has a lot of clever ideas based around science and science fiction. What bogs it down and possibly what prevented it from being a classic is the poor execution, especially the PS1 port. From what I've seen of the original PC version, the PS1 version lacks some music, dialogue, cutscenes, sound and visual effects, and not to mention numerous glitches and a presentation downgrade in general. This is an odd one to sum up because I would actually recommend playing this despite its problems. This may be a PlayStation-centric show, but I'll say it, play the PC version. You may have a difficult time, but you'll have an intriguing one.